Hello, everyone, and welcome to Am I Muted or Not? The regular show that we do here at CosmoQuest. I was muted. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hour 9, Diggy Diggy Mars. Now, during this segment, we're going to look at more than just Mars. We're going to talk about how, well, essentially Minecraft got us through a pandemic and allowed us to find our own way to build community and keep each other just a little bit more sane during some of the most difficult times that hopefully our generations will experience. Joining me during this hour are just some of the many folks that make up our Minecraft community. Looking across the bottom of our screen, I see Kerbal, Eric Mattis, one of our writers who came to us actually as a volunteer. So I knew him as Kerbal before I knew him as Eric. Also joining us is Veronica Cure, another one of our volunteers who...
Hi.
Hey, Eric. Also joining us is Veronica. You're muted, Veronica. This is a common theme around here. We also have the Real Fake Admin next to that.
Hello.
Hello. And still muted but joining back is Keeper of Maps, Gordon Dewis, one of our volunteers. Hopefully joining us during this hour is going to be our Minecraft hero, Ms. Brick Kitten. I know she's currently out running some errands. So Gordon, I'm going to let you start out and talk, and everyone just jump in. This is our community. This is where one of my favorite nights was, I don't know who started it, either Eric or On the Diagonal. We built an aquarium one night. Just built an aquarium. We'll go take a look at that in a little bit, but I'd like to start by talking about how we explore science in Minecraft. This landscape was one of the things where we had to talk through, how do we make Mars?
Yeah, so making Mars, that was
You're not sending audio into... Oh, you can send...
Did I fix my mic?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yay!
Which mic do you want me to use, this or Discord?
I have yet to figure out why Discord does not connect the mic the first time you log in, but it does the second time.
Because Discord is Discord.
Can you guys hear Gordon okay?
All right, I will talk here. How's that?
I hear you, but I don't know which stream that's coming through.
It works.
Okay, so I'm just going to leave the wireless mic aside and just talk through my laptop.
Okay, that does not
So
actually
making
look that good.
Mars.
Fix this.
So we knew that Mars needed to be like dusty and like what you're seeing on the screen, I think. And we basically chose we customized the biome so that it was just the Badlands biome. I believe that's the Minecraft name of the biome. And it's basically all sorts of different colors of terracotta. And there's orange sand and there's normal colored sand. And we identified, I think it's 1,000 by 1,000, maybe 2,000 by 2,000 blocks in Minecraft. And we set up a what's called a world wall around it so you can't go outside. And then we started getting rid of all the things that weren't terracotta or sand. Because when you generate this kind of a biome, you get things like cactus, you get water. There were all these little sticks all over the place. Dead bushes, I think they're called. And we had to go and make them all go away. And so we used world building commands to convert them. And we converted a lot of the surface water into that orange sand that you've seen in the background. And we did our very best to make it arid and lifeless. And we turned off things like hostile mobs because we don't need creepers going along and blowing up our rockets. That's probably not going to happen on Mars. I don't think they've found any creepers on Mars yet. I hope.
Not yet.
Not yet. And so this took us, we talked about it for a while. We did a lot of planning. And then it took 2 or 3 or 4 nights to actually get to the point where we could, of converting it so that it's like what you've been seeing when we've been doing the updates from the surface. And then some other people built I think it was hexacosacoron, but I could be wrong, but somebody built the rocket anyways that people came to Mars on. And
that would be me that built the land rocket.
Yeah, that was
hello,
diagonal.
on the diagonal. Yep. So on the diagonal built the rocket. I wasn't sure who built the rocket. My apologies. And
yeah, I'm just working on a storage space right now.
So you're working on a storage space. Ah, okay. So
you need a radiation-proof storage space for all your food that you grow.
You do.
And anyone is welcome to come and join me. And feel free to make improvements because I'm just trying. I'm working on one mistake. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this was a highly customized world, and it was tricky because we had to, when things generate in Minecraft, they generate with all these features that if you're trying to make a dry, dusty planet, you don't want. I did most of the cleanup. I know on the diagonal did some of the cleanup of lava that I missed. And if you walk right out,
found a little bit and took care of it last night too.
Yeah, and if you walk out to the edges to the wall, you might find a place where water is sort of leaking through the wall. Tried to catch it all. There's I don't know, like 40,000 blocks just area wise, and the volume of the world, it goes from, it's about 100 blocks thick. So we did a lot of manipulation of the world to convert all sorts of things that can't be seen under the surface, just because it was just easier and safer. Because when you have terrain and it goes up and it goes down, you want to make sure you get all the bits. And so who knows, there's probably still a cactus out there somewhere, but we will ignore the cactus when we find it, won't we?
Mm-hmm.
And so, we lived in Minecraft during the pandemic. We lived in Discord. We played so many hours of Ticket to Ride. We played Uno, which we haven't played in a while. We're going to have to play Uno again soon.
Uno on Tabletop Simulator is super jank. We should find a less jank way.
No, but the jank is part of the game, part of the fun. So
it's not fun with the jank.
That's okay. Some of us like the jank, but we played a lot of games all together, and we played a lot of Minecraft. We played. I don't even want to think about how many hours of Minecraft I've played. Thinking about the number of kilometers in game of railroad that Kerbal and I built, because I had a place, as we'll see when we go into Kittytopia 1.0 chunks, that we had a place. I had a place that was thousands of blocks away from anyone else, and I said I started building a railroad line because that's what you do when you like trains, and inspired by hexacosacoron, who is busy working on Ticket to Orbit. And I said to Kerbal, I said to Eric, hey, I'm building railroad lines. Want to come and help? And then we built, I don't know what, like 6,000 blocks worth of railroad lines one day.
Something like that.
Yeah, and I see that Kitten has joined us. Kitten is the keeper of the Minecrafts.
It's true.
So we had what we called Kittytopia. We didn't put numbers on it at the time. Now I refer to it as Kittytopia 1.0. I think a lot of us do.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
do you want to give a little bit of the history of Kittytopia 1.0? Because it was around, and I will say, I watched our good friend Paranor playing Minecraft. He used to stream Minecraft, but he was also, I sort of watched it before, and it's like, that looks like fun. I want to get involved in that. And this was maybe even pre the world breaking, but definitely in the very early days, the first month or two of the pandemic.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, finally, I just said, yeah, I got to do this. But I was leery because it had all the characteristics of something that I knew would just suck up all my time.
And that's true. It's kind of, it can. And the funny thing I always like to say is Minecraft is as fun as you are creative, right? So the more imagination, the more creativity you bring to the table, the more fun you're going to have in Minecraft. That's just the truth of it. It's like some kids will never get into the sandbox because they're not interested. They'll go hit the swings or the slides, and that's fine. And then there's other kids who will ignore everything else and just go straight to the sandbox, and they're there for hours and building. And it's the same thing with Minecraft. You jump in, you build. There is no rules. There is no things. There's a few challenges and everything, but overall, it's open. What you do is only limited by what you want to do. And to get to the history of Kittytopia, where it actually started was I started becoming a member of Paranor's community because I had heard his name on Astronomy Cast so often. Hey, and there's Paranor 001 in chat. And I was just surfing Twitch one day going, oh my gosh, here's people, and I'm looking at for Minecraft screens. It was just shortly after the 10th anniversary of Minecraft as a game. And I remember playing it into almost unplayable betas. And I came across Paranor's stream, and he's streaming and he's building his thing, and he had on his list, hey, I have a community server. He was hosting that community server from a machine in his house, and to say that the bandwidth was not quite there to support the community connecting to it as much as it would be an understatement. You would stall halfway mid-flight with a Elytron sometimes. It was, but there was community, and there were people trying to build and stuff. And I'm like, hey,
and it was cooperative, right?
And it was very much cooperative. There's no spoiling, there's no trolling, none of that jazz. And what I did is I made an offer to Paranoid, and I said, hey, hosting a low-level Minecraft server is like $30 a month. I can afford that. I just got a promotion, blah blah blah. And I said, would you be willing to let me host your community server for you? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. And so he sent me all the files. We loaded it up onto a hosting service, and we debuted it. And it was not seeing a lot of activity. The community had kind of gotten turned off by the poor performance of the server, so they didn't really join. And there were a few hardcore diehards who loved coming in and just building. And if you were 1 or 2 or 3 people on the server, it was okay. But as soon as you got 4, 5, 6 people on the server, it started not performing well initially. And so when it transferred, we had better performance, but we never really got the numbers back up. And about that time, Paranor drugged me over to the CosmoQuest community and to Discord there, and we were talking. And Paranor was basically, hey, why don't we just redub the server for CosmoQuest, and we can name it whatever, and we can just build a community server for the CosmoQuest crew and community. And that's what we did, and we spent many, many hours on that server, the first version of the server, just building, relaxing, talking, chatting, finding weird things to do and explore. You finally convinced me because we did re-roll a server with
Yeah.
with one of the more recent updates, but Mr. Keeper convinced me, hey, let's bring all of the original Kittytopia uh, CosmoQuest community server. Let's bring that into the current map. So we did that over a weekend. So all of the old builds that all of our community members built are still in the new server, which we're kind of calling Kittytopia 2.0, and there's just a lot of fun. And with the tools I have, maybe there's a potential I take the old blue box server that was Paranor's realm and add that into a blank spot of the
That
current
would be
Kittytopia
awesome.
silver as a
That
tribute
would
to
be
his
cool.
community and stuff.
Yeah.
'Cause I
That would be awesome. We will talk
yeah
about that.
yeah, but
But I
that's
mean,
something I've been thinking about.
one of the things I'm really glad that we brought back all the stuff, and we might even be able to go and take a look at some of the stuff. I don't know what's on screen at the moment because I can't see the stream, but okay. So we're watching Mars at the moment. Do you want to take a look at Kittytopia 1.0 and then we can go and maybe do a little bit of tour and we can talk about some of the things? I've got it up on my screen at the moment, and if anybody
Yeah,
in
hey,
chat
give me
wants
a
to join me
second.
down in Kittytopia, I can teleport you guys. Because one thing I have is I set up early on in my early days a book, and basically it was where all the things were and all the things I thought were neat. Things like shipwrecks. There was some reason I found myself out at like way out at like 10,000 by 10,000 blocks away from spawn. And I made my way back and I made note of things. And I don't remember what the occasion was.
It was a bad weekend.
No, I think it predates the bad weekend.
No, different bad weekend.
Oh, was it a bad weekend?
It was
Yeah.
pandemic. There were several bad weekends, let's be
There
honest.
there was no lack of
Yeah.
anything. And so the world we're in, it's a collaborative world. But one of the things that if you want to switch over, Pamela, to watch
You're
my
not to Discord, are you?
Yes,
Why?
No,
I'm
you're
right
not.
there. See?
No,
It's
you
right
are.
there. I have no idea what you're talking about, Pamela.
So before we switch
So
worlds, I just want to give a shout out to our Tufus, who's coming along with his greenhouse. And once again, if anyone wants to come and join us, you're more than welcome.
So, I mean, this is one of the things that this was your project.
Yeah.
Kitten, this was your project. And this is a little parade that we have here, and we all have balloons, and all the community members from the time. So it'd be about 3-ish years ago, I guess. Wow, time flies, eh?
Yeah.
You made little effigies of all of us. It did involve violating one of the community rules because you need to have your head harvested to be added to this. And I know somewhere around in one of your chunks here in the chest, there is a chest full of heads.
There is a chest
I
full of
think
heads.
everyone has a chest full of heads.
At this point, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so, but I mean, we have all the people. We have all the people from the day. And we had to rebuild this once because there was a raid and there were
The crossbows
what are
took
those
out a lot
things?
of the armor stands, and the
Yeah.
armor stand entities got broken, and I spent several hours rebuilding all of the
All of the little statues, all the people.
Correct. Yeah.
And then we figured out how to lock them so that they
This
wouldn't
is
be
true.
modified.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
true. And I would still need to look through and see what's my question, what my statement here. I would still need to look through and see if we're on the full version, the most current version of the armor statues. The statues,
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, because it's a mod. It's a book basically that gets updated periodically, and it adds more little features and tools and stuff. Right?
has anyone ever fessed up to the rubber duck?
Nope.
No.
No,
No.
no.
Rubber
I
duck
have my
sits in the bay.
theories. I have my theories. So, this sadly, the chunks we loaded aren't like the
100%
final
up to
state.
date. No.
No, because we can sort of date it because I built a flag for Ukraine up in the air over the water, and it's doesn't appear to
Not
be there.
there.
So that means it's somewhere pre-February 2022,
Gotcha.
which would match. But we built a lot of things, and there was the day nothing happened.
We don't talk about the day that nothing happened, but we did
Nope.
talk about zombies
But
exiting
it brought
out of
us.
their grave.
All I was going to say is it brought us together.
Yeah.
It did. Definitely did. And be careful of blue flames.
Yes.
Did you go, Mr. Keeper?
I'm over near the party pavilion, where apparently it's still got snow on the ground, so it must have been. Yeah, this must be about December 2021, somewhere around there.
We aggressively celebrate holidays.
Yes, and we build
Ew.
Christmas trees, and
candy
we
canes.
with candy canes and
Trades.
heads.
And I have to say, because we pulled the chunks out of the you should meet me by your map room.
Where do we want to go? Sorry.
Join me by the map room in the shopping district.
Yep, I will whoosh there. So, oh,
So what
yeah,
we did
the
is
wall
we
is messed up a little.
we extracted the chunks from we extracted the chunks from the old server and we put them in a completely different place in a new server, based on the
And a
relative
different seed.
coordinates and a different seed. So all of this work you did on those maps, it's gone. It's gone.
But
You
I wasn't the one who
Right.
started it. I embraced it.
you
but
you did embrace it, but it was definitely
Yeah. It this is
Sounds
this
like
is
a project for next weekend.
Yeah.
So I mean, one thing we did, and he's not in here. I don't think he's in here. No, he's in the next room. He's busy. He's doing responsible things while we do this. Is we have a rail network, and it's not that we have a rail network because anybody can make trains in Minecraft. It's we have a kick-ass rail network, and
we have Hexrail.
We have Hexrail, and so I'm going to
Yep.
hop in Hexrail, and we're going to go down this way. We have it's twin line almost everywhere. Once you get in, you basically
Unlike the
push the
US.
button. Yes, unlike the US, or most of North America. But we've got twin lines. They're powered, so that means you get in and you can ride them, and there are nasty, evil things. There are creepers and whatnot. A lot of denizens of Minecraft came into being when we moved everything over, and it's weird. You'll just see them. We must have made this snapshot on a day when it was a high day for the bad guys. because there are so many zombies and whatnot, and they're all bursting into flames because it would have been night when they were caught. But I mean, Hex built switches, and he built these amazing switches to go basically, where do you want to go next? We want to go to the left. Yes. And so a lot of us spent a lot of time. We said, okay, you know what? Rail opened up, much like the real world, Rail opened up Minecraft for us, Kidditopia for us. It's suddenly we could go, because we'd all clustered around the shopping district. And there were planning issues for the shopping district. And so we decided, well, we need to spread out. And I think that's maybe why I did my big adventure one day. And we found all these villages. And people have built all sorts of things in these villages. And this was a village. I'm not going to go into it because I want other people to be able to show things. But we went into one village and there was a giant ravine. And we covered over the ravine. And we built a bouncy castle at the bottom of it.
It's true.
It is true. And so, I mean, Hex has built all of these things as we edge over. And it's just incredible. But everybody, oops, I didn't want to go that way. I wanted to go down there. I mean, we have so many talented builders. I mean, we have someone who doesn't play with us anymore, sadly. That was Nick. I don't remember what, Mercurial Martian. He built some amazing stuff floating up in the air, and we have On the Diagonal, who is in the chat. And you need to talk about I think other people need to talk about what inspires them when they build. And I don't think we've heard anything from On the Diagonal. So do you want to talk to us a bit about what inspires you?
Head out to the resort village.
The resort village, yes.
Is the resort village here? If so, then someone could go there while I'm talking a bit about how I got started and what inspires me.
Yes, I will head out to the village.
I joined the Kidditopia community after discovering all of this from one of the earlier fundraisers. The CosmoQuest solar system build showed up in my feed. It was being hosted by several other Minecrafters, and they were building the solar system. And I was so taken with that idea of this huge collaborative building project, and discovered, to my horror, that the moons of Jupiter had not been built. And moons of Jupiter are one of the things that really sparked my interest in astronomy. I saw those on Carl Sagan's Cosmos back in the day, and they were part of the first episode I watched. And these were no longer just lights in the sky or names on a page. These were real places. And so getting those 4 moons of Jupiter built in was important to me. I got into the community, found out there was a Minecraft server the community did in their free time for fun, not as part of a big collaborative fundraising build. And so I joined the community, built a little base off on my own out in the middle of nowhere, and started finding things I could build. The way I build, I like to build into the landscape. I like to take what landforms are there, what landscape is there, and reshape it without changing the look as much as I can. So when I built my base, I built it into a big hill. The hill became the base. It added a dome, it added entranceways and such, but the shape of the hill never changed. I built a museum sticking out into the ocean because I wanted to go under the water without actually changing the ocean, sort of a reverse aquarium. Instead of bringing the aquarium into a building, I built a building into the ocean so that the people were essentially on display to the fish, the other way around. And as a biologist, that's kind of how I like to do things. I don't like to destroy the environment. I like to integrate into it. So most of my builds fit into that sort of theme. Although I do also like to build little references into my builds. So my base also had a couple of humpback whales. It had a big green dome. And if you know science fiction and science fiction adjacent things, those references will mean something.
You built Jabba's barge, didn't you?
I sometimes build very direct references to other things, yes.
I'm riding the rails right now, and I think Jabba's barge should be in this, so we should be able to see it as we go by it. But I mean, yeah, we know we can, if we're a privileged user, then you can teleport around. Try not to do that too much. It does happen. But I mean, yeah, you built there's Jabba's barge coming up on this as we're going by it now. And it's not just a shell. There's all sorts of stuff inside.
I looked at a lot of reference materials and was very happy with it mostly. I'm still not 100% sold on the sales. I think I could have done better if I'd spent more time with them. But we are building in survival. This was built in survival, not creative.
Yes, and as you'll see, there are nasty things around here. There are creepers and zombies. Oh. Yeah.
You left fire on the rail. Oh, no.
Did the rail get blown up?
No, just someone was in the way.
Almost.
So...
Yep, it did get blown up.
And so I joined... I bit the bullet. I joined Minecraft, and there are things I like to build, and I find the redstone stuff is fascinating. And I'm not as good a red crafter as some people are. And that's okay because we all work together. It's like I'll say, like, I'm trying to do this. I want to build a sorting system or something like that, because you never have too much storage. And then it sort of takes on a life of its own. And sadly, my storage system, I don't think is in here. I don't think it made this, but that's okay. And then we sucked Pamela in. I think that's a fair way to put it. Is the first hit is free, right? You can't stand there. I'm trying to go south.
My bad.
Can you mute? So yeah, as we were getting ready for the Hangout-a-Thon that brought in on the diagonal, Paranor had been like, come on, you want to play, and don't you need to learn this before we build the solar system for the Hangout-a-Thon? And I was like, look, I know my personality type. Once I start playing, I'm not going to stop. And I was right, but there was a pandemic. And so the first week I ever played Minecraft was sadly the last week of Paranor's life. And I still have the pickaxe that he gave me. Yeah. If we go back to Kittytopia version 1, I kept the sign that said, here Kerbal was slaughtered, because Kerbal and Keeper got into a fight in the little cave I built in my first 15 minutes, and promptly there was murder. And I just love the fact that while we were all trapped in our homes, we were able to recreate the places that we loved, that we dreamed of. On the diagonal one day was like, I want to build, what was it, the Amalfi Coast? I'm not sure how to pronounce it on the diagonal.
A sort of a blend of the Amalfi Coast and Santorini Island.
And And I love traveling. Prior to the pandemic, I was traveling 50% of the time. I have built a train station based loosely off of the Amsterdam train station. I have built so many things that are inspired by the places I miss and can't go see. And then we all basically did the things that we couldn't do in the real world. And when On the Diagonal was like, we're building a resort island, I was like, I shall do nothing else for the next 3 days. And we're working on getting our way there. And this bridge here is one of my favorites. This is a hex bridge.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let Keeper unmute himself because my mic isn't picking him up. And go ahead.
Yeah, so we're going through, and this is another way I can sort of date it, is because this interchange was quite different. It had undergone a while, but this is some of the original line that Kerbal and I built, and I think Annie helped out as well. And we were just following a certain, we were staying on a certain line of latitude, essentially, the last coordinate that you see on my screen. And we came to a mountain. It's like, I just don't want to build going up over it. So we just went through it, as you do. And we built this elevated rail. Then we went back and we generally, in most places, we tried to connect it to the ground because Minecraft physics will let it just hover there in the air. It's infinitely rigid. It'll just stay there and it won't bend or anything like that. But in a lot of places, I've got, we built posts, stands. And this is my idea for this area was you're going through the Badlands, early West when the railroad was just appearing. It was not a safe place. There were bandits and people trying to derail your trains and giant spiders. And, this is what...
horses kept getting stuck on the rail.
And the horses kept getting stuck on the rail. And yeah, so, I mean, you have to suspend. You can't perfectly... Well, I suppose you could perfectly replicate the real world in Minecraft. And there are modules if you want to do that. But I like this. This is our interpretation of the world. We are slowly making our way to the south. It does take time. I mean, this is the thing. The rails that Hex inspired us with and that Kerbal and I embraced with way too much gusto made the world bigger and accessible.
And then we all got mending Elytra for free.
We had
so
there
we
was
stopped using the rails and could get anywhere in 10 minutes.
I failed. I crashed.
Yeah,
How
some
did
people...
you get yours for free? I had to pay a block of diamonds.
There was...
showed up in a box one day.
Yeah.
Yep, the welcome present.
And we do have welcome kits and everything. And so we're probably like a minute or so of real world time from when we're going to get to the train station you built, Pamela, next to the train station. Like you built a building just so I had this village, this tropical village I found, and it was my little tropical village, and I didn't want to do anything. And next thing you know, people are kidnapping my villagers and
we didn't know.
And cloning them. Everyone knew.
I did not know.
Fair. But that's fine. I mean, my villagers were put back for the most part. And we've got... thank you. Yeah, we have animals that appear on the lines. And this is some of the earliest of the long-distance rails that we had. I don't know how many times I've ridden up and down this. There's still a llama that got trapped in the little gap here that I cut. The llama got trapped, and it's still there. It can't get out. They're not.
I still haven't found my horse from the first night of me being in this server.
It's probably dead.
It fell down a ravine I sadly did not make it, but the horse did, and I never found the horse again.
So one thing we did it early on in my time in Kittytopias. At the beginning, if you died, you'd lose all your stuff and you'd respawn at spawn. And that gets very tedious, and it's a game mechanic that works fine for some games, but not in other games. And I think we had a weekend where we suspended the death rule. Oh, it was suspended for Christmas. To lose all your stuff
suspended
rule,
for
I think.
Christmas. Yep.
And we never turned it back on.
It's true.
And I think that was one of the best decisions we made collectively as a community, was to, because it just got in the way of, it made it not fun.
It definitely cut into Kittytronics profit margins.
Yeah, well, we could do a whole panel just on the questionable
ethics of
business
Kittytronics.
practices of Kittytronics, but we won't.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so I have
Kittytronics is a fully ethical company.
I know no
For
doubt
some
there's a
definition
rule,
of
but it
ethics.
was hard to follow in Minecraft because I like to die in Minecraft a little bit too much.
So we built. We've gotten to the resort, and Diagonal. I think this is where you get to be tour guide.
Well, it started with the idea of having a place where we could all build together, because although we'd done that a bit in the shopping district was running out of space. And there was this island here, very contained area. And so I started planning out some ideas. Kerbal came in and helped. And we got a train station and a few paths laid out, a few places for buildings, and encouraged people to come and claim one of the building locations, maybe take some of the inspiration and begin building things. So if you go into this building, this is the train station behind you there. We've got a mural on the wall, big, tall Victorian architecture inside. The idea being that it would be a sort of a classic style railway station. And then everything else started building up around this. We had buildings at different heights, building at different elevations. We had buildings close to the water, buildings inland, buildings of different sorts, and then all the decorations that come in between. So we have a lookout area here over the hotel and cafe that got built. Behind it, we have an aquarium that Pamela mentioned earlier, and the aquarium was one of those things where someone had, I forget who it was. It may have been, no, I'm not sure, but we had someone start saying they wanted an aquarium. So we got together and began building the aquarium.
This is a spa.
This is a spa.
This is the spa.
I didn't even know we had hot springs down here.
Now, one side is a sauna, and then the other side is cold baths, traditional Roman Italian style baths.
Yeah,
I want to say the aquarium was
seen
Raven
this.
Lillian, but I'm not sure.
Yes, that's what I was thinking too. So if you think it's
I
good,
think
then
you're
it's probably right.
And Kerbal, we've done art in here. We've done art in Minecraft. And Kerbal, you built a giant fish.
Yes, it's by the aquarium.
We have to go find it.
Can't miss it.
Turn around.
If you
Huge
turn
round
right,
There's your clownfish.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
I put that on the new part of the server somewhere. I don't remember where.
I built an owl back in the town district, shopping district.
We still have the Enderman customer in the restaurant.
Yes.
Karen wasn't her name?
This is at the end. I think so. We can go see the sign on the wall.
So this town reminds me a bit of Port Merion I bet on the diagonal knows where I'm talking about. I thought it was up here.
I do know what you're talking about. And I've started putting Port Marion style things into the Kittytopia 2.0 village that I set up above our new Skelly.
Good. So, yeah, some of our they check in and they can never leave. And if we could anger it, but let's not anger this guy. So, I mean, we spent so much time in here, and we built some on a really bad weekend. We built things to remember.
And on another really bad weekend, we blew things up.
Yes, there has been. I like
Some days-
Minecraft TNT.
TNT is necessary some days.
It is, and you have the day when it's like something must be exploded. And we had a sacrificial area. I don't think the sacrificial area came over, right?
No, it did not. We left a sacrificial area out for the.
But there were holes in the world.
Yep. Oh yes.
Big holes.
Big holes in the world.
Sometimes you just put down a block of 25 diameter TNT and light it all at once just to see if you can crash the server.
A small block. Well, it's just a small block. Yeah. Oh, here. Click. Clip that to yourself. I'll mute.
So Hex has come in. The two of us are now mic'd.
I have no audio.
Oh, just tell it. I'm going to ask Hex. Just tell us a little bit of your heart about Minecraft.
Yeah, I like trains. It's something I like to do on just about every Minecraft server I show up on, is to try to get everything connected, because we like to spread out, and I also, and a server is supposed to be a social thing, so I thought it would be nice to have people be able to get to each other more quickly. So, but also like make the rail itself a bit of a work of art as much as I can, sort of try to reflect whatever is around it, and also look like it's not just floating above the terrain. So, yeah.
All right. And we're clearly not going to go and do a Minecraft tour during the break between segments here. So instead, what I'd like to do is go to some of the people who haven't talked very much this session and ask, what joy have you found? Eric, I'm going to go to you first, because we haven't talked about the rocket park you designed and we built during the last Hangout-a-Thon.
Well, that was something that you asked me to do, to get people in Minecraft during that event. So I did a bunch of research to come up with a rocket family tree. And I didn't know if we would get all of it completed, but like the second day I had to come up with more things for people to build because we'd finished everything.
It was really amazing. It was absolutely amazing. Veronica, where's the joy?
Sometimes the joy is just diggy hole. It's just something to get your mind off stuff and talk with friends, and especially when we hang out for a whole pandemic together, you do kind of develop a little bit of a same context
Yeah.
of things.
And we built some mighty holes. You and I, one weekend, were like, we shall go through the nether and connect these very distant places in the nether. It was
Yes. And we dug a hole for a step well one
Yeah.
weekend,
Yep.
and that was fun.
And so the thing about CosmoQuest is, yes, we built a solar system. Yes, we built a rocket park. Now we're building Mars, and I think we're going to keep Mars going longer than we've kept some of the others going because, like, we literally built Mars, and now we're building stuff on Mars, and so there's this double-sided awesomeness to it.
Well, I mean, and over the years, we've built a solar system, we've built Mars, we've built a moon base, we've built the rocket park. Like, we've built so many things. And I mean, the solar system was a huge project, and that, was dedicated to Tim's
Paranor.
memory. But yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, that was, I still can't fully fathom how far away we made some of the planets because you tried to make things accurate.
Mm-hmm.
We did it to
And
a scale that worked well, and
Yeah.
it was a lot of
And
math.
then they changed the vertical height of the map.
Yes. But we're not going to increase the size of our solar system.
The fun fact:
No, it's
the
big
scale of Jupiter in that solar system was such that Jupiter is exactly the same size as Bennu in real life.
That's true. That's awesome. All right, so we do need to wrap this up. I need to switch things over as we get ready for the next session. Thank you to all of you.
And what is the next session, Pamela?
The next session is we're going to do a meet the staff. We're going to have Beth Johnson on interviewing our own aerospace correspondent, Eric Mattis.
Yay!
So thank you, everyone. And I'm going to close out the YouTube session, and we will be right back. And I will see you all on the other side. All right. So, money. We have seen some donations come in since the last break. We are currently sitting at $2,355. I'd really like to see that number get to at least 10,000. Like I said, I know times are tough, but I'm allowed to have dreams and goals. We have lost our mouse. There.